As you have all seen over the past week or so, Daniel Ricciardo has left McLaren following the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and rejoined Red Bull as their third driver. But how has this happened, and how can he win races in Red Bull in 2018 and now in 2023 he will be their third driver? What on earth has led to this set of events to happen? Well, let's go and take a deep dive. Let's take it all the way back to 2018 when the Red Bull car was shocking with reliability with the Renault engine in the back of it. With Verstappen emerging as a top talent, it became more and more clear that he was going to be the #1 driver, with Ricciardo annoyed at the unreliability of the engine and his becoming the second driver in the team. He decided that it was time to move on to another team. This was not only a huge surprise to the fans and the media, but also to Red Bull and Christian Horner himself. They respected his decision to leave the team, but they were very shocked as they believed that Daniel was in the right team for the race wins. But of course, they let him go. However, it was a strange choice for Daniel to join Renault on a multi-year deal from 2019 and beyond, as the Red Bull engine in 2018 was the Renault engine. But he was also joining a team that was nowhere near the podiums, never mind wins. So Daniel was a new chapter of his career. Would it be successful? Well, his first year at Renault was solid, but with a midfield car, he was not able to get in the podium. But Daniel was still considered a top driver, and anything can happen in Formula 1. 2020 was a much better year, not only for Renault, but also for Ricciardo, who would take home 2 podiums, which of course was a massive improvement. However, before the season even started, Daniel would announce that he would join in McLaren in 2021, after promising the team he would stay with them to win races in the near future. Was Ricciardo onto something with McLaren, or would it be a failure? That's for Daniel to decide. He sort of was in a way. In 2021, Ricciardo would seal McLaren's first win ever since 2012. You would assume that it was a phenomenal rest of the year for Daniel, right? Well, if you didn't watch the 2021 season, he would not be anywhere near his teammate in Lando Norris. He was beaten by the young Brit for a lot of the season, with Lando taking home 4 podiums and a pole position. Whilst Daniel may have gotten the win, he did not get any poles or other podiums and was beaten by Norris in the Drivers' Championship. But in 2022, with the brand new regulations and new cars, it was a level playing field amongst all of the drivers, meaning it was a very level playing field, so people could easily improve. So it was a good point for Daniel to get back on top of beating his teammate. However, 2022 would be much worse for Daniel, who would struggle to get out of Q1 on most occasions, and he would get beaten a massive 20-2 by Lando Norris, which was the biggest deficit between drivers in qualifying through the whole of the 2022 season. Ricciardo would only score 37 points, whilst Norris got over 3 times the amount of points than Daniel, with a massive 122 points, all whilst being in the same machinery. With this poor performance from Ricciardo throughout the season, it meant that his contract was mutually terminated and he was replaced by Oscar Piastri for 2023 and beyond. This then left Ricciardo without a seat for 2023, and this is where we come to for the present day, where Ricciardo has just signed a deal for Ricciardo to be Red Bull's reserve driver, so he will take the place of Perez or Verstappen if they do have to miss a race. So it's a big opportunity to drive for a race-winning car, possibly in 2023. So what does 2023 have in store for Daniel Ricciardo? Now, on the weekend of the final race of 2022, Helmut Marko pretty much confirmed that Ricciardo would be the third driver for 2023 before the official announcement, which came just a few days after the checkered flag on Sunday. Marko talked about how Daniel will be taking part in a lot of sponsorships and the show runs with the team, and this of course is good opportunity for both Daniel but also Red Bull to get good exposure from Daniel. As we know, Daniel is one of the most popular drivers on the grid, and him and Red Bull coming together would allow the team to go out and do all these show runs with the old cars to get the brand out there, which of course brings more eyes to the team, which results in even more money. Furthermore, for Ricciardo, with him being a reserve driver for the team, it allows him to still be in that Formula 1 environment and be in and around the paddock for the lot of the races. He will also be able to get in the simulator and make sure he is ready for the opportunity of him possibly driving for Red Bull if he has to drive for them. But it is very helpful for Daniel to still be in and around the sport, which gives him the best possible opportunity to have him back in the main grid come 2024, as he has stated several times. Red Bull finished the year in great form once again and showed how they were so dominant throughout the whole year. So Daniel, of course, would have wanted to join this team. Daniel had pretty much two choices for who to join in 2023 as the third driver, in Mercedes and Red Bull. Not exactly bad teams, right? Of course, Daniel had previous ties with Red Bull, so it wouldn't be much easier for him to deal with Red Bull, and of course, there is a possibility of him replacing Perez. Who knows in this sport? Daniel knew that as soon as the contract was there on the table for him to join the reigning champions, he had to take the deal and go back to where his whole career started. Daniel chose the best option for him, as he would feel at home and at peace with Red Bull once again, with a chance to get back into the main seat. What do you think this move will do for Daniel, as he will get the main seat at Red Bull, or will he get another seat in 2024? Or will Ricciardo never be able to get back onto the grid, and will it be the end of the always smiling Australian being on the grid? Leave what you think in the comments below. It is fair to say that Ricciardo chose the best choice for him for 2023, as he can still be around the sport and is not just sitting at home watching 20 drivers have fun, and he may never get back into the sport. This move is very smart for Daniel, as we know how hard it is for drivers to enter the sport as soon as you leave, unless your name's Kevin Magnussen. So the best opportunity has been taken by Ricciardo, and even though he has a very poor couple of years, he can still rebuild his reputation as a good driver and get back to the levels that he was performing back in 2020. Daniel's stock has really taken a big hit ever since he joined McLaren, so he has to make sure to get back the confidence in not only himself, but have the faith of all the other teams on the grid to take him up as a driver for 2024. However, there are very limited options for him to take in 2024. But as we've said in many times in this video, anything can happen in this sport, and it all can change in a blink of an eye. A seat could easily come up with Lewis Hamilton retiring, for example, or Ferrari doing a Ferrari and Leclerc leaves. But does Ricciardo have the ability to take a top seat or his career at the top over once again? Is this the right move for Ricciardo, or is this the end of a great driver who was just in the wrong generation and left the sport without a world title to his name? Thank you very much for watching this video, and make sure you to like the video and subscribe for even more awesome Formula 1 videos just like this one.